everyone, and welcome to 1923 Main Street.
Home of the Disney Travel Podcast with all the latest Disney travel news. We are your hosts.
I am Mike Bello-Braddock.
And I'm Amelia Bello-Braddock. And today we will be telling you what's coming to Disney parks in 2022.
Yes, and in particular, it looks like Disneyland is finally coming back on track, because the news this week, there is a lot of it, and it's all to do, almost all to do, with Disneyland 22. Hey, that rhymes. It's all to do with Disneyland 22. Let's kick it off with some of the special events that are coming back. You know, these special event nights, do you like them?
Yeah, I do. I'm a big fan of them.
Yeah, I like them too, even though some of them, it's
as
funny.
Long as they're good.
That's what I was going to get at. All right, let's kick it off and then we can discuss. So there's 3 things coming back in terms of special events night. And Disney World doesn't have all these. For example, the Sweethearts Night. Then there's the Villains Night, which is their version of Villains After Hours, and Star Wars Night.
All spelled with a perfectly grammatical spelling of night.
And of course, these are special events that take place after the park regular hours close, and they have entertainment, and they always claim the reduced wait times on attractions.
Well.
Yeah, exactly.
Well.
If you haven't been to one of these, take it with a grain of salt, because it's not always that
reduced
much
by
lower.
1 minute?
Yeah, we've had some, less than stellar experiences.
We've had wait times be even longer.
Yeah, we've had wait times longer than the regular day. So, it really depends on how many tickets they sell and if they sell out and all that sort of stuff. You may or may not have lower wait times. So that is not a guarantee. That's all I'm going to say. And we've gone to a lot of special events.
Yeah.
Anyway, you get about 4 hours of time after the parks close, and you can come for these ones in particular 3 hours early. So
They're pretty fun.
Yeah, they have that overlap area, and it's fun. If you have a ticket, you watch them sort of start kicking out the other people in the park, and then you're going, hey, this is great. But then somehow, like we said, it may not always be less crowded.
You get a wristband.
So let's dive in with the details. So the first one, Disneyland Sweethearts Night. What are the dates for that?
February 1st, 3rd, 8th, 10th, and 14th. Happy
course.
Valentine's Day.
It really is sort of a Valentine's event, right? It starts in February.
Of course, they have all the other holidays.
Looks like there are 5 nights where you can do it. And they have a special fireworks show. There's projections. They'll have a jazz ensemble on the riverboat, the Mark Twain riverboat, other live entertainment. And they say
decor,
a royal ball and a dance party with a DJ. Now, let's see what that is. I like the next point. Spot the most darling Disney couples and take selfies with your favorites.
What does that mean?
Well, that might be Prince Charming and Cinderella, because it's basically a Valentine's event. Yeah. So those are photo ops you probably would not get otherwise.
Yeah.
I always look at these things as, what are we getting here? Because they're not cheap. They haven't given prices yet that I've seen, but they're not cheap, so what are we getting above and beyond? And like I said, don't count on it as a fast pass.
It's not.
It's not necessarily. It might be.
Well,
the way you do it, the trick for all these is if there's a parade or something big going on.
Ditch the parade, dish the fireworks, go to the rides.
Yeah, that's about the only time in these where you're going to get good ride times. And then there's also other photo ops, and in this one they say featuring romantic scenes from iconic movies, so I don't know if they'll have cool backdrops set up for your Insta photos. And then other decor, of course, food and beverages. Sometimes they're great, sometimes they're not. And you can start coming in at 5 p.m. at this one.
Without any ticket. Not sure how this is going to work with Park Pass.
That's a good point. I'm assuming you do not need a Park Pass.
No, they said you don't, but what if the park's at capacity?
They'll still let you in. It's a ticketed event, so they have to.
Yeah.
All right. Disneyland After Hours Disneyland After Dark Villains Night.
Very different.
There's only 2 nights for this one.
Very exclusive.
I should say, for the Sweethearts Night, tickets are now on sale.
Yeah.
But for the Villains Night, they go on sale on January 11th. And what are the dates for that one?
Just March 8th and March 10th. So if you are going around March break,
I
think it's slightly before that.
Coming in, well, everyone has different spring breaks, but this is a popular spring break time.
Mm-hmm.
And, the Villains ones, if you've been to these before, this one takes place at Disney California Adventure Park, not at Disneyland Park. It's
on
2 nights.
At Disneyland.com.
Yeah, as of January 11th. And they're having a cabaret show called The Cauldron. They like to have these shows at Villains Night. They did it.
They're normally quite nice.
Yeah, the shows are actually pretty good. Yeah, I like the Villains show. We've seen a few of them. And then there's Ursula's Seaside Sing-Along.
Yes.
Ooh, the Underworld Dance Party. So if you're bringing kids, they're going to like that. They usually like that's in the Hollywood backlot.
Special photo backdrops, including some scenes inspired by your favorite villains.
So I'm seeing a trend now with these. They're getting into the Insta backdrops. Maybe after a year.
That's fine. Photos are great.
Yeah, after a year of doing selfies, then yeah, it's probably not a bad thing, actually. You know what? Like I said, these events need more than they've been giving.
Well, I think they're starting to pad them up a bit, including some infamous villains and or their sidekicks at special locations.
I like that, and their sidekicks. So what is that's like Mr. Smee or something, I guess.
Oh, I was thinking, my first thought was Iago.
Yeah, so it's funny. Who is your first thought when you hear of a Disney sidekick? Oh, well, of course, devilishly decadent food, as they call it. And drink. And drink offering.
And drinks.
And drinks. You might
Wouldn't be a party without those.
You might need them if you're feeling like you didn't get what you paid for. I don't know what this one's going to be like. Hopefully it's better than Villains After Hours at Walt Disney World. And as with the
other one, early admission to Disney's California Adventure Park beginning at 5 p.m.
Yes. And then the third one they've announced is Star Wars Night. Now, we've done this or something similar at Hollywood Studios at Disney World. And this
was pretty fun.
And it was pretty fun. So this one is
also on sale beginning January 11th.
Yeah, and 3 nights.
May 3rd, 4th, and 27th. Yeah. They took a big jump there.
Yeah, a big jump. So
of 2022.
Maybe they skipped Mother's Day or something before that.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, 3 separate nights in May. Like you said, January 11th, they go on sale. This one has a pyrotechnic show. So, yeah, they did that in Walt Disney World as well. March of the First Order, similar to Hollywood Studios. Yep. Captain Phasma leads the way for the Stormtroopers. A galactic dance party.
Star Wars themed treats, merchandise, and photo opportunities,
and characters, of course, throughout the parks. They don't really say how the meet and greets are going to work.
There's no real specifics.
Well, you know what? I'll give them that.
We'll just throw these things out here.
And we'll see, right? Because who knows? COVID up and down all over the place. Who knows what the world's going to look like in May. So
that's true.
And then, early admission. This one is 6 p.m. Interesting. So weren't the other ones 5? Yes, they were. Yes. So this one is 6 p.m.
Maybe it goes later?
Maybe it goes later. Could be. Now, the interesting thing for all of these, if you had 2020 tickets to any of these events, they are not good for these events. So you're going to have to call in and, exchange them or pay the upcharge or whatever it is. But please do not show up at the gate with your 2020 ticket, assuming you are going to get in. So check out
They claim it's only a small price difference, but how small is
small,
Disney?
Small is relative. And that's not all that's coming to Disneyland in 2022. There's lots of fun. Some of the regulars are coming back. So celebrate gospel, something I've never done, but if you're into gospel music, you will like that. It also takes place in February in the Fantasyland Theater in Disneyland Park.
Tale of the Lion King. Sometime in the spring, the Fantasy Theater at Disneyland Park, again, will also be home to Tale of the Lion King, which I think began in 2019 at California Adventure, and then COVID.
Yes. So this one... we haven't seen it, so it doesn't sound like it's exactly Festival of the Lion King.
No, I've seen some things on Instagram, and I think it's pretty nice.
Yeah, sounds pretty good. The story is the storytellers of the Pride Lands are a troupe of traveling performers, and they sort of present Simba's story in a unique way. So we'll see. Live music and dance, of course. What else would you have in a Disney show?
Yes, and the Main Street Electrical Parade, of course.
Now a lot of people are going to be thrilled about that one.
To celebrate its 50th anniversary.
Yeah, that's sort of cool. Do you do you love the Main Street Electrical Parade?
I don't know, because I've never had nostalgia for it because you don't love it.
Yeah, I don't love it. We did, we had VIP seats for it recently.
I think it's nice. I like watching it.
Let me ask you this. The electrical water pageant or the Main Street?
Water pageant.
Yeah, same with me. All right. So anyway, it's good that these things are coming back. It starts to round out the Disneyland experience.
I still like the Main Street Electrical Parade.
And another big one with an anniversary is coming back.
Fantasmic.
Yep. 30 years at Disneyland Park.
It's so young.
Hey, this is an interesting fun fact.
It's Disney's longest running nighttime spectacular.
Yeah, that hasn't changed. Now, I do prefer the Disneyland Fantasmic over the Walt Disney World Fantasmic. I think it's a better setting and it's just done better. So if you haven't seen it, check it out when it comes back. The next one, not a huge fan.
World of Color.
Now, World of Color is, of course, the water-oriented show out in front of not Mickey's Fun Wheel, the Pixar Pal Around, as it's now called, over in Paradise
it's Mickey's
Bay.
Fun Wheel.
If you didn't know the water was called Paradise Bay, that's your fun fact for this episode. So, over by Pixar Pier in Paradise.
What do you prefer,
Bay.
World of Color or the Electrical Parade?
Oh, Electrical Parade.
Yes.
I don't love World. I don't know why. I mean, it's nice, but we see it a lot when we stay in from our hotel balcony. We always get views at the Grand Californian that overlook that area. So we watch it, and they have a viewing area on the roof of the Grand Californian as well. Do you love it?
See, I'm just nostalgic for all things Disney, but I mean, personally, I'd also have to go to the Electrical
I'm being
Parade.
hypercritical as well. Not hyper, but just regular critical.
No hyper.
I haven't gone into hyperdrive on my criticality yet. I do that sometimes. And then rounding it out, so World of Color, Fantasmic, and of course, what else?
Disneyland Forever,
Yes.
Fireworks Spectacular.
The big fireworks show finally coming back.
Yeah, even though it claimed it would be forever, but,
Well,
fireworks shows lie.
COVID is hopefully not forever. Now, one thing is they are saying some surprising special effects. So from the sounds of it, they're in their official promo for this that talks about Disneyland Park becomes the canvas as the world dreams take over the park. I'm imagining they're taking some of Enchantment and sort of incorporating
things
it.
like Peter Pan flying over the London skyline. Could be nice. Sounds like something out of Happily Ever After or Enchantment, or To Dance with King Louie in the Jungle Book. Plus 2 original songs.
Yeah, 2 original songs. Live
That
the
I'm
Magic
excited about. I like their original songs.
and Kiss Goodnight. And it was one of the Sherman brothers, Richard Sherman. If you don't know the Sherman brothers, they've written tons and tons of stuff like It's a Small World, among many, many other things.
I mean,
Disney.
Disney songs are pretty good. Like Happily Ever After. What a bop.
Now,
I'm biased, but
let's
still.
not leave out Disney World. And then I have a quick news-related item for the end. So very quickly, we talked about Festival of the Arts in an earlier episode where we talked about the Broadway performances that were coming. But there is, of course, food and art.
Of course.
So they have, an art-inspired menus, and there are 15 food studios throughout.
Only
World Tour.
15?
Yeah, I know, not as many.
Really?
Not as many as the food and wine, but
That's
fair.
surprising.
There's Deco Delights in the Craftsman's Courtyard. They are new this year. And there will be a complete foodie guide, of course. So
Of course.
in early 2022. They're
That
not
is
releasing
very
that.
unspecific.
Yeah, well, I'm assuming in January they'll put up
I'm
the
assuming
details.
before the event begins. I
Sort
hope.
of like the next one, the Wonderful Walk of Colorful Cuisine. How does that work?
That could be very good.
It sounds like something you would like.
That's true. It's a food stroll with 5 sweet and savory offerings. Once you buy and get your passport stamped for all 5, you get an artist palette cookie as a bonus.
So there you go. So you get a free passport for this thing.
That's why I like it.
So if you buy all 5 of these offerings, you get a free cookie.
This sounds like probably my favorite one I've heard so far, but it also could be really bad.
And then also rounding it out, of course, it is the art festival. They will have lots of visual art items as well. So there's music, food, and now visual arts. 100 Disney and visiting artists will showcase their works. There's a couple of cool things here. They will have artists in the Disney Artist Gallery and the Wonderground Gallery live.
Yeah.
And there will also be pieces from Acme Archives. Thomas Kincaid, very, very popular with Disney people. So I'm assuming these are special pieces.
I'm assuming they're also
while
very
in galleries
expensive.
and pop galleries. So if you're into art, definitely check that out. And if you're into Figment, he's going to be there
who's not
too.
into Figment?
And then the last one I think is sort of fun that they
Chalk artists will create masterpieces at chalk art galleries.
Disney chalk art is very good.
Yeah, and apparently you can learn how to draw a Disney character at Animation Academy.
Yeah, I miss remember they used to have the Animation Academy.
I don't know what that is,
You
but it
did.
sounds
They used
fun.
to go where the Star Wars area is now in Hollywood Studios in the back. That used to be the animation courtyard, and you could go in there and they would teach you to draw. They do it a little bit at Animal Kingdom now, but they're bringing it back for this festival, so it's sort of fun.
That sounds really fun, actually.
And then there's also kids can create their own chalk art and all that sort of fun stuff on a huge mural at the
paint by numbers
expression
mural.
section. Yeah, paint by numbers mural.
They're very specific about that.
Yeah, so that lots and lots of fun stuff. The big story here is events are coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2020-22. Now, Omicron, please do not ruin this for us, right?
Or whatever letter is next.
Now, I want to close out this with a quick commentary, 2 minutes or less. I saw an interesting news story this week where a question was asked, is it possible to visit Walt Disney World or Disneyland without a phone anymore? Do you say no?
Well, I could because you have your phone.
Not that. Generally speaking, can anyone go to a Disney park without a digital phone anymore? Now, yeah, I would say, and you know what? Listen, technology, it's not just Disney. I was thinking about this. Technology is a part of everything now. And generally, personally, I think it's for the better. I like what they're doing with their tech. It's had some bumps along the way. But unless you're just going in to shop, you're really not going to do yourself any justice going in with a handheld device. So I thought it was sort of
going in without a
handheld device of some sort. I thought it was sort of silly. Oh, can you do anything in the world other than hiking in the mountains? You can do things, yes, of course. You can get off the grid. But Disney parks and resorts have always been innovative, very technical, innovative things. Their rides are highly technical, so...
And not everyone has to have one, as long as one person in your party does.
Yeah, you're not visiting the Great Redwood Forest here, right?
Yeah.
So don't expect to be going off the grid. Of course you're going to need a device to enjoy the most of Disney. I don't love... Now, I don't love spending my whole time looking down at my phone either.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't love it. I'll do it as I need to. I appreciate what it does. But yeah, you've got to have your phone. So I thought it was sort of a silly story, and maybe they're going for headlines, but I wanted to bring it up here. Let us know what you think about that and about all the festivals. Are you hopeful that this will all come true in 2022?
Because I have things that I want to do in 2022.
Yeah, me too,
so.
me too.
Yeah.
All right, everyone, that's the news for this week. And hope you enjoyed your 15 minutes of magic, and we'll keep it coming at you every week here at 1923 Main Street. So be sure to check us out online at 1923 Main Street on social media, and have a magical day.
Bye-bye.